Okay, broadcast myself, I guess. I want to dedicate this video to Grant Romundt, former partner, 2004 was it, Grant? I got to search your name on YouTube and saw you on CNN and all the other cool shows. Sea Pods, that is an awesome idea. That's an awesome idea. Happy that things are going very well for you. This is good. Finally. I think it probably always has. Now, Grant is quite an interesting person. I met him in about 2000, 2001 or something like that. Maybe 2002. He came flying out. He owned a company called Paramotors in Toronto, Canada, which was very successful, where he trained some of the famous actors down in Hollywood to use a paramotor. And there's videos of him and Bill Shatner, his friend Bill Shatner of Star Trek, doing taking flying lessons from Grant. Really good videos. So Grant and I worked on the power cells. Grant put out a video on it, which is on the internet. I'll put a link down below on it for you on power cells. A very dedicated person, a very honest person. He got along with my main investor partner, Thomas, from Germany. And everything worked great for us. And Thomas is still very well. He moved, I believe, to Canada. I'm not certain, but he's coming to visit sometime. As you should, too, to see what kind of mischief I'm into, if you want to. I mean, I look like a long gone as the beanie cap and the other clothes. Now I look like a reprobate from some scrapyard or something. I don't know. But done a lot of shows, TV shows. One at the end of April, we'll be doing an interview with a TV crew again. But Grant, I really like the Sea Pods idea. Now, I know that you worked very hard on the crystal power cells and brought them around the world, brought them to show the scientists, kept logs on the power levels they were producing. And we had fun with that big one we had that went to Thomas in Germany, and then the 24 or 24 volt one. That one I took a number of times into the United States when I was doing TV shows with Elaine Smith and others over the years, and finally it just accidentally broke. I dropped it or something, or gave it away, I don't know what, or gave it to Thomas, I can't remember, but it was an awesome portable unit. I forget its exact weight. I think it was about a pound, but I put out a quarter of an ampere as Thomas measured, and you measured it well and videotaped it, which I have. You can look at the videos that on Nancy Lazarian Hutchison's uploads of all the new videos and things. So check it out. That's you. That's you doing the testing. And I have your other video. I think it's 45 minutes long that you made. That was uploaded some years ago to Carla B. Kniption. Kinibthion. A fictional character I modified and had fun with. Anyway, it's a long story, but did you ever date 709? Big question. I know you saw her in an airport. I'm just wondering if you ever hooked up. Anyway, you're doing great. That's made my day, my year, kind of. I didn't know what happened to you. I haven't heard from you for a long time, so awesome. That's awesome. So Nancy was trying to bring the power cells out to the young generation. I don't know what's going on there, but you were dedicated, and you tested them and showed them to Bill Shatner, Larry Hagman, and all the other people, and kept power logs. Appreciate it. I don't make them anymore. I kind of gave up on everything a while ago. because I mean, Thomas invested $250,000 into it, so the Japanese and others 50,000 or 100,000. Anyway, nobody. We did our thing. We kept our agreements, and no company, no factory, nothing ever happened to it. I'm sure you experienced that as well. But I don't know. Now the next generation of folks, they are making some of them, but I don't know what's going on there. But Nancy made hundreds, if not thousands of them, little micro ones that produce energy. And they were working pretty good. And she's been doing other things over the last couple of years. Oh, wow. So I met Bob Greener of Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project. He's a worthy guy meeting as well. I met up with Ian Gazda. She is in southern Oregon. And up here, too. I got to meet Ian again. Got to meet Bob Greener in person, too. I don't know if the film crew is going to interview them or not. I don't know. Made friends with Christopher. His dad is a famous race driver. And was a famous race driver. But Chris got blinded in one eye some months ago, and he's about 5 miles away from here, I think. 5 or 7 miles away. But he's had a lot of adventures as well. So I'm in this here, which is like looks like inside a warship. What can I say? I don't have machine tools. I work with those all the time, build things, create things, going at warp 9, sort of. So I'm going to label this video Grant Romundt, just in case one of your friends will look at it, maybe, I don't know, and point you in this direction. You can email me or contact me on Funbook, Facebook. I see that you're on Facebook. So. Wow, Grant, it's crazy. Oh, wow. I did a lot of radio shows with the producers. We were going to have a TV series, but that never happened. That was with Dr. Ron Millalone at BAE Systems. Back east, and Ron and I were talking about doing the Philadelphia experiment again. With a 4-foot model. I tried it with a 1-foot model, got some weird results, and it's all on video. It's not uploaded at all. A little section is uploaded to the internet, but that's basically it. But we were going to do time dilation experimental things with high energy magnets and spinning electrostatic fields. Because if you spin a magnetic field with an electrostatic field, you get a gravitational effect. So I'm told. I noticed that with some of the electrostatics and pulsed magnetic fields I was using a long time ago in RF fields. Created some weird stuff, which was filmed, by the way, by a number of film crews and scientists over the years. Yeah, I'm typecast out there on the internet, by the way, as what do they call it? The government got me, nonsense, and then they shut me down and put me on LSD and all this truncated garbage. Really, but it's funny. Typecast, and it's forever in the internet, embedded, kind of. So, what can you do? Then I'm connected to, this is really funny, I'm connected to 9/11. They used the Hutchison effect to bring down a twin test. Yeah, right. Total, people are nuts, I'm telling you. Yeah, sure, buddy. So, it's a wacky world on internet land. And that breeds off into people's minds through their little phones they stare at all the time and get brainwashed that way, I suppose. And so I get sometimes weird emails, weird comments. I delete most of the emails, except if it's from serious people, like somebody in, I think it's St. Louis, wants a metal sample to buy. So I sold about 300 pounds of metal samples on eBay over the years. And that kind of worked out for me. I got rid of them. I don't know what I was going to do with them. I can't use them for anything. I'm not going to sit on the street and brag about it. Like, oh, look, I got this and that. And so I give it to scientists that can figure out what to do with them. I couldn't. I'm not even a scientist, by the way. Not a scientist. And not an inventor. I forget what you called me. Did you call me an inventor or something? I don't know. Canadian something or other. The Canadian dingbat. But anyway. So I've been, oh, good lordy, doing a lot of different things. I went to the Gulf of Mexico. That was covered by the Navy Department. Oh, come on, what's his? John Shelburne. And then the Huffington Post covered that with a video, and there was another TV crew or something. But they, and scientists were all involved in it and wrote up reports on it, which I put on my SlideShare, by the way. www.johnkHutchisonSlideshare.net. Anyway. So I'm going on a toot here, talking blah, 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 but that's okay. I'm happy that you are okay and doing well. And all good things. I saw your interview with the lady. Forget her name, unfortunately, but that was a good interview. On another YouTube channel. So, I don't know what I could contribute to you on anything, but I'm sort of just a burned out eccentric. You know how they go. Burned out eccentrics go way off and vanish somewhere over time. I had my day, but now I'm a burned out eccentric. As people would call me. They criticize my way of dressing these days, but I've always been that way. Even on the main media, way back in the 80s. Oh well, I could care less what people think. It's their problem, not mine. Study psychology today, and you understand all the mechanics of it. Do you ever get on the TV show The Apprentice? I think, did you talk about that one when we're partners? I got still a bunch of ordinary mail from that group. They wanted me to come on one time, but I didn't want to go. And then there was a bunch of letters in regards to business plans and all that from Trump's group. I don't think Trump would write that kind of stuff. He has probably a large group of people doing all this stuff for him. So there was that. I don't know. I was talking to somebody about that, but I forget who it was. And anyway, it's not my world. All that stuff. It's just kind of incomprehensible to me as well. But no, some of my business things is simply very simple. Scrapyards and eBay and gun places, vintage firearms, and all that stuff. You communicate to people. I communicate to people. Scrap dealers and gun shop owners. One time I was in Petaluma, and the gun shop owner gave me a 50 caliber Browning to take apart and look at, which I did do. The guy used to collect those kind of things, and still collect weird bits of stuff related to it anyway. Thomas, I was in communication with him, I believe about a year ago. He seemed to be quite occupied, and will visit someday. I do not get letters from Prince Hans Adam Liechtenstein or Prince Alfred von Liechtenstein. It's the last letter I got was hold on a minute, I think I even got it. I don't know. But there was a lot of correspondence between us, as well as Ken Shoulders. Do I still have it, or no? somewhere else, I think. I don't know. I know that. This is something. I'm sure, Grant, you would be interested in this. For sure. It's Liechtenstein himself, Prince Hans Adam, right? And it's his new book. I think you'd probably enjoy that. Gets into business plans and all the money and currency and stuff, so. That's from Hans Adam. What date was that? Got the letter in here, or is that somewhere else? Got the letter somewhere else, I think, or it's in here, but anyway. It's a nice written. Oh, here it is, sorry. There we are. Prince Hans Adam. Well, that's in Oregon. Okay, that's a couple of years ago. So, well, I haven't looked at this for quite a while, you know, Grant. I don't know. Okay. John Kenneth Hutchison, P.O. Box 104, Oprah, Oregon. 22 October 15. Dear Mr. Hutchison, thank you much for your kind letter. Okay, but I'm doing well and hope you and your family are fine too. For your so important and radiation work and your other work in free energy and life extension science, I wish you a lot of success. Okay, that's a nice letter. I am pleased to send you in the attachment in an English copy of my book, The State in the New Third Millennium, which has already been published in 12 languages. With all my best regards, Prince Hans Adam II, Liechtenstein. Oh, I haven't looked at that in a long time. Anyway, that was nice of him. Okay, so Berkeley Bedell, he came up visiting in 1998, by the way. Oh, right, we mentioned that. Okay, we talked about that. Unfortunately, he passed away. Let's put the book here. Okay, so Grant, just wanted to make this video kind of for you, or talk to you this way. Oh, link it to your Facebook, I suppose. Yeah, I look like a retrograde. Totally wacky, huh? Oh well. That's what Ken Shoulders would always say. Oh well. And start laughing his head off. He passed away as well. And Dr. Rocher passed away too. Rocher stayed with us for a month in Oregon. And Ken Shoulders and I, he had prostate cancer and passed away, and it was not a pleasant scene. But I'm sure he's about somewhere, if there's another dimension, another world. Probably looking down. I was just looking over his letters last night. Why? Because something came up. Your memories on Facebook or something. So I took a screenshot of them. And my mind wanders, how's this person doing, you know, and I go search out names of people I know, kind of thing, and checked on them and see how they're doing these days. So I caught you on CNN. Good for you. International, too. So then I looked up your other project, and it's really good stuff. You know, if anything I can do, let me know. You may or may not, doesn't matter. But we had a lot of fun with those crazy free energy things. That big one, you did a lot of tests on that, and that video is really impressive. I appreciate the video and all those stuff. And it's uploaded on Nancy's website and that. I don't know. I remember I was sitting on the floor joking around or something like that. I wonder. I got all these thousands of videos, literally, probably. That only a small portion have ever been uploaded to the internet, and TV people keep buying the same old footage. You know, the spinning bowling ball. It's actually a cannonball, cast iron thing. And the same old footage. You know, they don't even bother looking for anything new. But that's the TV people. You know, that's what I call them. Have their fun. When they come here, I'll demonstrate some things and talk and blah, and they ask me questions. So we'll see how it goes. I don't know what. It's an international thing too. They'll pay me a couple of grand, I suppose. That's what they said. So it'll be fun. I spend a lot of money on eBay, by the way. Buy this, you know, free shipping. You find stuff that up for bid. It's extremely valuable, and nobody's bid on it. It's like a couple of dollars. They're looking for a bidding war. I'm thinking, okay, I'll put a bid. So I score a lot of weird things. The only costly thing sometimes is shipping. I just was working with a fellow back east on a bunch of radios, $25 each, but I had to pay for shipping. They're World War II and R390A or R390/URR. A couple $100. I'm thinking, I'm going to bid on it. Normally I don't bid. I like buying it now, but I thought, oh, you crazy person, me. I'm talking about me, so I put a bid, won it. And I was buying a lot of stuff from Greece, at least 2,000 pounds, if I add it all up. Mr. Alec, who gave me super bargains. He'd have 2-day shipping or 3-day shipping from Greece to Athens, Greece to here. And all well packed and things like that. So, and we communicate by Skype. His wife would translate, and I'd send a message. It's always in his language. Google translates. Put Mr. Alec, blah 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 blah, and then my English version of it. So yeah. Well. Yeah, there's a lot of good people in this world, and there's a lot of psychopaths running loose. Unfortunately, but I'm happy you're doing well. I'm trying to remember what we. I think you call. I got you on one video. You called in. Hi, John. It's Grant. Blah blah blah. And I was doing something with high voltage. I don't know if you remember that, but it was that crazy high voltage plasma tube I had. Remember that, and then what? You're at the bed and breakfast in New Westminster, British Columbia. I remember that too. And you had your mailing address in Los Angeles. It was 90210 Beverly Hills. I still got your letter and video with that on it. Oh wow, Grant, such a pleasure. I'm so happy for you. I had to make this video. You're a very positive person and get things done. Appreciate it. And you don't go back on your word like most people do these days. Now somebody's going to write a book on me. Whether they do it or not, I have no idea. You keep talking about it for years, but who knows? You know the story. I'm sure you do. Well, as you met me, I was smoking a pipe and I graduated to cigarettes. So I'm going to go into the other room and have a cigarette. That's the stuff I play with and work with. Lots of it. This section here is all this weird stuff. The other section is all heavy-duty electronics, military style. There we have the Oracle room in here. Let's turn this around this way. I'm working on that for the film crew. Oracle room. Strange signals in here. We got this I'll be doing for the film crew. All this stuff. Still got to get it organized. It's all on the floor, basically. It's so much of it. Piles of it over there. And over yonder and all that. Okay, so I can listen to anything really on this. all the way up to gigahertz. It's like a monitor the sun and all that stuff, and then we've got this in here, more of it, and 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 more of it. I think you're in my apartment a number of times. It was when I had all that radio gear there from the warships. I have to look at the video again and see what you filmed. Yeah, I smoke cigarettes. So, this kind of put this over here, make my own. So I'm just a burned out eccentric. Just a flake. Could never do what you're doing. Never could. Special kind of person. That's okay. But I have been international with Japan, Germany, and that. Got along fine with everybody. Wind up half the time animal sitting or kid sitting. And they're all grown up. Unrecognizable kids. Totally unrecognizable. Amazing stuff. A bit of sunlight today. So, we're working on frequencies that manipulate. You're not in focus, or I'm not. I think still recording. I hope. See how crazy I look? But I don't mind. I'm totally insane. Working on frequencies on the hydrogen line and VLF frequencies that actually interact with atomic particles in a way. High energy particles like what they discovered with the US Navy. And the VLF transmission and ELF transmissions actually affect the cosmic rays, keeping them away from Earth. It's big news some years ago. So, but I always knew that. And there was a scientist, Dr. Harold Wilson from Defense Establishment Canada's Defense Department, who kind of knew how I did these things with the anti-gravity and the metal stuff. Because it's a matter of everything's got to be heavy, massive, and there's got to be uranium ore somewhere, or radium chloride. That's pretty well known by the Dr. Wilson and the other doctors, Dr. Lauren Kuhn and others. And the Los Alamos team really didn't know that much. They had a plow flying through the air. I think it was flying through the air. Something crashed. They didn't know what it was. It's the problem with these guys. And the mirror exploded, I remember that. And some other things blew up, and Colonel Alexander's molybdenum bar warped. That was a control sample. And after that, it was who was it? McDonnell Douglas Aerospace came up. Did 2 days of filming and got lots of results. And after that, it's just endless. Kind of like Dr. Thurston Ludwig's film for 2 weeks solid. About 5 hours every other day. 2007, and then Tom Sky filmed everything, and there was dozens of others that came and went and came and went and filmed. I don't know what they're filming for, but I think they thought it was neat, and I had everything already, everything plugged in. I didn't have to do anything except push in the mains or turn on the mains, and off it goes. But I had a lot of tuning to do. There's a TV show that hasn't aired yet. It was made by Paul Stavakowski of Canada, Toronto. Maybe you know him. It's called Somewhere Out There. Shows things levitating. It hasn't been aired on Discovery or yet or whatever, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to see how long I've been chatting for here. And it's good to see you're doing well, Grant. 30 minutes. Oh, well, okay. 30 minutes. Okay, well, you're probably too bored to watch this video of a old retrobate joking around on the internet. Which I do. I did a lot of that. And sometimes in public. Don't I look fabulous, Grant? Didn't you have a TV show called Scissor Boy? I remember that. You were doing something there. And you got some products going too, I remember. Oh, this is a hello from the retrobate meek, John Kenneth Hutchison, somewhere out there in the sun, looking crazy as ever. Feeling slightly demented as well, but oh well. I try not to goof around too much in my silliness. I got these characters I like putting on the YouTube. For the hell of it, why not? That's like a good defense mechanism to shun away people trying to bug me all the time. So I do imitations of English and of crazy women. I got some of the names. Kathy Vaseline from Texas. Another character. Carla B. Connections Rothschild III. As you see, my YouTube channel's name is pretty long. This is a hell of it. Why not? I've always been a clown. I probably been better at being a clown than this kind of stuff. I look like Willie the Woozle, or a dog or something. I don't know. Got a pet dog called EVO after Ken Shoulder's EVO discoveries. He's called EVO. He's got this endless energy. I spent a lot of time with Ken over the years, by the way. At Bodega with the Henry Dakin. I don't know if you met Henry Dakin. His dad was an industrialist who put out Dakin teddy bears. Anybody know what a Dakin teddy bear? Okay, he had the Neotic Science Center, 3220 Sacramento Street, San Francisco. I'd go there and stay with Ian. But that's where I met Prince Alfred von Liechtenstein with Ken Shoulders. And the whole event down in LA was hosted by Star Trek people. Herman Zimmerman, to name one, set designer, and he brought us into 5555 Melrose Street in LA, the studios, Paramount Motion Pictures Company. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I met Kirk R. Thatcher, who starred in Star Trek 4, and he co-produced about the whales. Stayed at his home for a couple of weeks in LA one time after the Estes Park, the lecture I gave in the Stanley Hotel in Colorado. That was an awesome place. There was, I think that you probably know the person. He stars in Dumber and Dumber. They're filming that at the same time. They're also interviewing me for PBS and for a TV show somewhere else, which I have on video, by the way. I got some of the interview on video. Dennis Weaver hosted it as well, along with a NASA group. I met the NASA personnel in Linda McLean's home, and they showed me the Mars rover, how it was built and all that. They go back in time to find radiation-hard chips. And I said later on, it's interesting timing. In Henry Dakin's home on the top floor, on the 4th of July, took a picture of it too, of the Golden Gate Bridge, says, and then it mentioned that the Mars rover landed on that date. So, interesting times. A lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. I'm sure you had a lot of fun as well going on. Oh, what else can I talk about? I'm going to have another smoke because I haven't had one for all day, or half a day. So, I'm rambling on, but that's okay in my world, I suppose. The rambling scientist, huh? Chris Abdullah, friends of Steven Seagal, called me the stumbling scientist because that TV show aired on TLC. I don't know if you saw that one. But they always say, you might have stumbled into something. It was a Sacknoff Whitman Entertainment Group, so that was a lot of fun doing that show. But I could never get used to people coming up and saying, I want your autograph. I have that happen a lot, and it's very, for me, kind of disturbing because it's kind of like people are worshiping something they don't need to worship. I don't know why that is. It's like, what happened to Tesla after he passed off? Kind of made him into this God. Strong cigarette. Oof. But anyway, so C-Pods. Yeah, I think it's a great plan, and someday if those crystal power cells if they ever get out in the world, they'd be very handy for something like that. I don't know if you know this. I sent a proposal to DARPA because it's on the U.S. government's program, SB, Small Business Innovative Program. They didn't mail me all these books and pamphlets and solicitations and all that, and I sent one off to DARPA, to Dr. Bud Durand of DARPA. And I didn't make it. It didn't make it well because it's not filled up properly, and that's me in paperwork. Still got the whole thing here. It was on the power cell stuff. Oh well. That's quite the adventure. Power cells and the energy things. That same unit that you're testing is with another partner, Richard Brewer, who's ex-civil engineer for the tar sands project in Canada. We both took it to the Canadian Research and Development people downtown Vancouver, carrying that thing in. And they looked at it, and we turned it on, and they said, well, we don't know what to do with it. And they suggested we go to the Canadian military, and maybe they don't know what to do with it. So Richard was pretty ticked off. So we got along fine. We made some models, and CBC News covered the power unit, which is, I think, uploaded. It is uploaded now onto Nancy's YouTube. So it's kind of interesting. The Japanese never got, I don't know if they ever manufactured it or what, but there's a lot of interest from the Japanese field. Gotta get my dates correct. Some of these events happen. Japan was 1994, 5. And I met you 2001 or 2 or 3. Okay, so when did Richard come into view? I think it was I have to look up the old contracts, but he had to go back to the United Kingdom because his father was ill. So everything's kind of dropped like that, and then went off into other areas. And then I know the Canadian government's EPA was interested, but it didn't go through through Dr. Andy Mikrowski properly, and Richard Reed was filling out forms too. Ex-broadcaster. It was Chester Pulaski of CBC who covered the whole thing. Gene Manning covered it. Did you ever met Gene? I think you did, didn't you, Grant? I always remember that bad incident where Mrs. Shatner passed away. You were down there. That was pretty bleak for Bill Shatner, as well as you mentioned it over the phone. Anyway. All old coffee, all new things. So we've got all these new things coming. it's fun to delve into the past, once in a while, like I'm doing now. But oh well, as Ken would say. It's a benchmark for me anyway. There's certain things in my crazy brain. Yeah, well, my hands are dirty. See, I'm always machining something or building something or organizing something. Long video, Grant, from Wee Willie the Woozle. Me, I look like a bat out of hell, don't I? Anyway. I better check the time because the sun's getting that point where it must be getting close to me getting my vitamins. I'm still doing life extension. We're doing that forever, and I'm going to end it soon here, Grant. It's just been, you probably won't even see the video, probably won't watch it, but I just wanted to say hello and filter through the internet somehow. And very happy for you. Great to see you working on C-Pods. So, guess I'll go. And thanks, Grant. Catch you later and keep on progressing. Cheers. Okay, we're a happening unit.